Hello everyone and welcome to the Warrior Nation F1 Racing League podcast. It's good to be back for our 12th episode. It's amazing. 12 episodes. Joining me as ever is Ollie. Hello Ollie.
Hello, I'm back.
You are back. You finished playing World of Tanks with your friend.
I haven't finished, no. You never finish Tanks. Just keep on playing.
Were you not being distracted by it today, yes?
No, I'm not, no.
Full attention. Lovely. Right, we have some other drivers from the league. We have, let's go GP2. We have VXP Volts.
Hello, guys.
How are you?
Fine.
Excellent. Good. And representing, well, he drives in GP1, but representing GP3 today is Master Baby Bell.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How's everyone?
I'm well. I don't know about anyone else.
I'm fine.
As usual.
Good to hear.
So to kick us off on this episode, here is Stephen J. Hayes, 83, with the roundup for the action of GP1.
GP1 headed to Monaco for the 6th race in the Warrior Nation's F1 Racing League last weekend. With the track bumpy and the barriers unforgiving, how would the driver survive such a challenging task? It was Fiercemil in the Ferrari who took pole position, 4 tenths ahead of Tuppers in the Sauber. Shiraz 995 and Cube 623 took 3rd and 4th places respectively, while the consistent one, Jay Hygo, rounded out the top 5 grid positions. When the lights went out, the front runners had no incidents around the first few corners. All the incidents came from the back. As the streets twisted and turned, Gaza, Stephen J. Hayes 83 and Vanoom all needed replacement front wings at the end of the opening lap. One of the fiercest rivalries in the race belonged to Jay Hygo and Tuppers. At the second to last bend on lap 1, the two touched wheels, sending Tuppers into a spin and gifted the McLaren a drive-through penalty. This incident would place them firmly together for the remainder of the race. The closing laps witnessed the pair come together again. On lap 38, Jay Hygo outbroke himself into turn 5 and in what seemed like slow motion took out his championship rival, gaining him a 20-second time penalty. Fiercemil took the checkered flag by a comfortable margin from Shiraz 995 and Cube 623, a massive 30 seconds behind the Ferrari number 1. Ferrari number 1 fan came through in 4th after a mistake from bowfar in the dying laps gifted him the position. The Mercedes driver kept hold of 5th position ahead of the squabbling Jay Hygo and Tuppers in 6th and 7th places. Bofar's teammate Oxa 112 crossed the line in 8th, while the top 10 was rounded out by Vanoom and Stephen J. Hayes 83. So the championship table after 6 races looks like this. Shiraz 995 leads the way on 107 points. Fiercemil's first win of the season places him 2nd on 99, and Jay Hygo keeps a 13-point advantage over Tuppers on 96. Cube 623 stays in a lonely 5th position on 59 points, while Oxa 112 stays in 6th position on 34. Ferrari number 1 fan jumps up to 7th, nearly doubling his point score to 25, and Thimbot 007 and Bowfar are joint 8th place on 20 points apiece. Monaco gave us the race we expected and deserved, but will we see an equally exciting display from the drivers when we head to Canada in round 7 of the Warrior Nations F1 Racing League?
So the GP1 race, well, we all knew it was dubbed Crashico in the back marker before we went there, but it wasn't all that bad for crashes. It was just a few incidents, wasn't it, Ollie?
There were a few, yeah. And
like we said in the package, Jay Hygo and Tuppers were pretty much fierce rivals throughout the whole race.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of a rivalry forming between the two of them, with Jay Hygo's impressive pace lately, and Tuppers not so impressive. Well, I wouldn't say his pace is not impressive, but his performances haven't been. And
being his teammate, are you disappointed?
No. He had the disconnection in Spain, which was unfortunate, and Monaco he was sort of hampered by Jay Hygo, so not really his fault.
Just unlucky, like I was in the first 4 races.
Yeah. No, you were just... There's a different word for yours. Wasn't just unlucky. Goes far beyond unlucky.
Well, yay, great. How was it towards the back of the field anyway, Ollie?
Oh, it was amazing. I had such a good race.
Where did you come?
12th.
12? It's a good solid 0 points.
Yep.
And how about your race, Master Baby Bell?
It was fantastic, to be honest. My target was to finish the race, and I finished the race, so...
It's good. Your teammate is impressive at the moment.
Yeah, he's good at keeping secrets, so...
Is he not sharing his setups with you?
Not as much as I would like to. I don't know whether his setups would work for me, but, a bit of help would be nice.
Yeah, that's Shiraz. You need to help out your teammate.
Although, not to knock him, he does wish me luck every single week, which is nice.
Aww.
It's sweet. It's sweet.
Do you not feel slightly patronised?
No. I think it's supportive. It's supportive. He wants me to do well, but he's just a freak when it comes to racing.
That he is.
And here's bowfar with a roundup of GP2.
A strong outing from both Mercedes drivers last week in Spain dominated the attention of GP2. But would they be talking about the same thing when the drivers met in Monaco for the 6th race of the season? Yes would be the answer to that question, as HB Snipes put his Mercedes on pole position. Mr. Tanz in the McLaren was close behind him in 2nd, and Reckless Samster put his Williams in 3rd. When the lights went out, it was clear to see that the two silver cars of HB Snipes and Mr. Tanz were to dominate, as they quickly pulled away from the rest of the pack. HB Snipes' teammate had other issues to deal with. An incident in qualifying meant he started from 9th, less than ideal on such a tight track. His fears became reality as he lost his front wing in the first lap carnage. The first round of pit stops saw Mr. Tanz leapfrog HB Snipes with a clever tyre strategy, but a rare mistake from the championship leader saw him lose his position to HB Snipes. He endured even more misery as he tried to negotiate a sideways Sauber car. The inevitable collision cost him his front wing and allowed C Stealth and Steve JW94 to pass. The race calmed down after the second round of pit stops, and HB Snipes took the checkered flag and the fastest lap to close the gap to Mr. Tanz. His teammate Steve JW94 came through into 2nd after a nightmare first lap, and the ever consistent C Stealth finished ahead of Mr. Tanz in 3rd place. So after the 6th race in GP2, the standings look like this. Mr. Tanz keeps hold of the number 1 spot on 116 points, but HB Snipes' 2nd win of the season means he closes the gap to 28 points and moves on to 88. Steve JW94's impressive recovery means he takes 3rd place outright on 80 points, and C Stealth moves to 77 points with his 3rd place finish. Monaco saw highs and lows for all the drivers, and the impressive form of the Mercedes duo means we could see a close championship in the future. All the more reason to join us next week then for the next round of the Warrior Nations F1 Racing League. So you've heard the package for GP2, let's have a chat about it. And I think we'll probably just go to the person who was there, the only person who was there, Volts. Hello, Volts.
Hello.
How was the race?
Not very well. Not a good race at all for me. Anyway, don't know about others, but I got involved with plenty of incidents. I lost my wing 3 times. I got spun out by someone on lap 6. That wasn't very good either. Lost a lot of time there. Then there was a safety car during the end, and Killers got an extra lap on the safety car, and he lapped me at the end of the race. But if that didn't happen though, we would have been a good battle between me and him. But not a bad finish for me though.
What's that? 7th place?
Yeah.
Good 6 points. You're still 6th in the GP2 Drivers' Championship.
I need as much points as I can get because I'll be missing 5 races this season. And I started 12th, I believe, so that wasn't too bad.
And you started 12th because of an incident in qualifying, was it?
Yeah.
Talk us through that.
Well, I saw a car behind me and I was on the inside, so I went to the wall to let past, and the car went to the wall as well. We kind of clipped and I got a penalty for it, so not too much more to say.
Lotus have dropped behind in the constructors a little bit, dropped down to third since last we spoke.
Yeah, I'm pretty disappointed in that, but can't really do much more for the performance of the Silver. The Mercedes had their 1-2 finish, so that was great for them. So good race for them as well, but not too bad for us. Me and Stealth, I think he finished 4th or 5th. So yeah, we won't give up. We'll battle to the end in Brazil. Everything will be decided then, hopefully.
And here's my lovely co-host Ollie with the roundup for GP3.
The second round of the Warrior Nation GP3 League took us to the tight and twisty streets of Monte Carlo for the Monaco Grand Prix. A dry session saw the Real Zesty qualify a second quicker than his rivals and on top for the second race in a row. Dekuju qualified in second and Kirk and Sauber came in third. The race was clean despite a few mistakes from the leading drivers in the opening laps. Further connection problems gave misfortune to some and maybe fortune to others. The race was eventually won by Dekuju in his Williams. Second place was taken by Kerr and the podium was completed by Reggie 9114. A strong result from Dekuju means he keeps his position at the top of the GP3 League and stretches it to 14 points over his nearest rival Kerr. Completing the top 3 is Coach Panda. Force India, or Williams, now tops the constructor stable, with Mercedes a race win behind. The single driver team of Ferrari is in third place, with only a point separating them and Mercedes.
Right, so you've heard the roundup, but there's a certain 3-letter word that dominated last week as well, and that was lag. Is that fair to say, Baby Bell?
It is, yeah. I don't think with this new league, there's a lot of good racers, and it can be a very, very interesting league. But up to now, it hasn't really been representative of what can actually be done on the track and within the league tables. Because of the lag, the finishing positions of everyone's been so sporadic. You've had people who maybe finished kind of out of the top 10 in the first race, who finished kind of quite high up, maybe 4th and 5th place at Monaco, and it was all down to the lag and the AI drivers basically ghosting on everyone's screen. So after the race, most people were quite vocal about the lag issues and what should be done, but it's been decided that the race results from Monaco will stand as they are, but we've put a couple of changes into place for the next race, and hopefully the lag issue will be done and dusted and get back to racing.
So now it's time for Meet the Driver, and Ollie refuses to do this intro because he won't do it silly or interesting. So I'm doing it instead. This week we meet Stephen J. Hayes 83.
My gamer tag is Stephen J. Hayes 83. I'm racing GP1 this season for the Red Bull team in car number 2. First Formula 1 related memory. Well, I think the most obvious one for me is probably 94 Imola. I know exactly where I was, what I was doing when I saw the unfortunate incident as it panned out to see the death of Senna. But I was aware of Formula 1 long before that. 93 Hill and Prost in the Williams team, and of course Mansell in 92. From what I remember, Dad always had it on, and I sort of took an interest from there on in. But I'd say definitely sort of 94 is when I sort of started watching it with great interest. My favourite F1 driver of all time is Damon Hill. I watched as a young man someone grow in stature and have to take that team on and nearly win the championship. Should have won the championship in my opinion, but that's probably a conversation for another day. But yeah, just how he had to build himself up and really take a team that was in pieces and move it forward really struck a chord with me. And in 96 when he crossed the line in Suzuka to win the championship, I was elated. My favourite Formula 1 moment ever was probably Spa in 98. The Jordan team had a terrible season up until sort of mid-season, and they hadn't scored a point at all. lots and lots of money being bandied around with a former world champion. And in 98 in Spa, they got into a position where they were 1-2, but Hill had a problem in P1, and they crossed the line to create history. They scored a 1-2, and that was the first team in history to win a Grand Prix by winning it as a 1-2, and that for me is my favourite F1 moment in all history. My favourite team, my favourite driver leading home a 1-2 straight into the history books. The GP1 Championship this season is looking quite interesting. You have Tuppers, obviously, who is going to defend his title. Samil, who I've publicly previously said would be my favourite. I hope he doesn't crack. He's a young man, but bags of potential. And of course, you've got the other pretenders as well there, in Cube and Shiraz, who were strong last season. But I'm still going to stick my money on youth. I'm still going to go for that number 5 Ferrari. I think that Emil will grow during the course of the season. I am sure that he has it in him to topple Tuppers, which I know won't resonate well with my man Tuppers, but he'll grow with the competition as well. But yeah, Samil gets my vote.
Okay, so it's come to the time of the podcast where we look ahead to the next race, and and as our resident Dalek has spoken, yes, we are going to Canada. I think probably my favourite track. Don't know about anyone else, but I think it's got a good mix of corners. It's quite fun to drive around. So yeah.
You mean chicanes? Yeah.
And a hairpin.
What, you mean chicanes aren't corners?
You said a good mix of corners.
Chicanes and a bit more
Yeah.
chicanes. Another chicane. And the hairpin.
It's not all chicanes.
It is.
No, it's not.
There's like 1 or 2 corners.
It seems like that,
No,
but it's not.
The first
Anyway.
and second corner of chicane, basically. The second
Yeah,
and
because
third
it goes
corner
left,
are
right.
chicanes. The
Right,
fourth
left.
and fifth corner are chicane.
Left, right.
And then the next
And then
one
right,
is
left,
chicane
and then
again. And then a hairpin. And then a chicane again. And that's the rest.
And
That's
then a
the race.
chicane again.
Yeah, but they are a chicane. There are chicanes of like they're not the same. Basically, they're not like
Just end it. You're not gonna win
they're not
first
like
one.
the chicanes on Italy. It's not like that, which is like the same chicanes every time.
Completely different track.
Well, yeah, that's my point.
And it's not hairpins.
How do you think your race is going to go, Volts?
4th.
Would you like to
Because-
expand?
I don't have too bad pace. And I don't think I'm never going to catch up to Tans and Snipes and Steve, so 4th. If everything goes well and I don't get crashed into.
And how do you think you will do in GP1 Master Baby Bell?
After Monaco's success, my personal success in Monaco of finishing, I'm going to raise the bar, and my new target is going to be P14, and hopefully at the highest 10th.
Points positions, perhaps.
Perhaps, yeah. Although, like you says, it is a fun track to drive on, and although it may sound stupid, I prefer to race on the tracks that I enjoy, that I find fun, as opposed to technical tracks where I have to, deal with weather or, the turns in Monaco. But yeah, it'll be fun. That's the most important thing.
That's good, and I'm glad you mentioned the weather because I was going to bring that up. Canada, in my races like previous in career and things like that, they do tend to have some sort of rain in them. Do you think we will see rain this weekend, Ollie?
I hope not. I don't like rain.
You don't like the track being all slippery?
No. I don't like moistness.
I tend to get quite lucky in the wet.
Yeah.
I tend to get wet.
How did you figure that one out?
It was meant to be a bit of innuendo.
Innuendo bingo.
I am hoping it rains, though. I think as Spain showed, I do quite well in the rain, in the wet conditions.
Really,
Well, you could say that, but I was up the front for the whole race and was pressuring Jay Hygo and Gaza, the two McLarens. So I don't think it was all luck. I think it was luck getting around all of the people that crashed off in Spain, but it was a good race. And I think if there's some rain. I know Canada quite well, and so I think I can predict the rain fairly well, and we'll see how it goes. You never know until we get on there, go around the track and have a feel for what people are doing. Right, it's time for us to wrap up, but before we go, we need to plug things. Now, Ollie's against this because he thinks that Stephen J. Hayes 83 should come on and plug it himself. Your response?
I just think we've got plenty of stuff to get on with in the podcast, and adding more things is making it more difficult.
However, the stuff that we need to plug is quite important. First thing is to specifically to the guys who are in the league itself. Roll call. There's a number of people, I think
20.
like 15 to 20 people who haven't signed roll call. Basically, what it is it's like a register, I guess. It basically tells the guys in Warrior Nation that we're using the section. So please make sure you log on and sign roll call, and that will help out a lot. Thank you very much. Next one, we are thinking about setting up another F1 league, but instead of it being on the Xbox, which is what we're currently on, we want it to be on the PS3. So if there's anyone listening to this who has a PS3 or knows anyone who has a PS3 and plays Formula 1 and would like to get involved with the league, then you can contact us on Twitter. What's our Twitter, Baby Bell?
I don't think we have one now.
Hang on. Hang on.
Shouldn't you know this?
I should.
You're the one who does it. This is how highly organised we are here at Warrior Nation.
Okay, I've got it. I don't ever use the address. I just tweet from it. You can find us on Twitter. Just search for Warrior Nation F1, or the address is at WNXF1 League.
Thanks. Wasn't so hard, was it?
No, it was quite easy, and we tweet stuff every other day.
Yes, we do. So if you want to get involved with the Xbox League, or if you have a PS3, then by getting in touch with us on Twitter, that's probably the easiest way. We have quite a lot of people from Twitter who find us on Twitter, came onto GP3. So it works, and we listen to you and we respond. So it's all good. And one last thing to plug: we are setting up another league, but it's not F1. It's to do with Forza 4. That's the game we're using, and we're doing a touring car league. And we're looking for people to come in and take that on because, we're doing F1. And we kind of started it as a side project, but it's quickly evolved into something that we want to turn into a league. So if Formula 1's not your thing, but touring cars is, and you have Forza 4 or would like to get Forza 4, then contact us on Twitter or comment on this video, and we'll get back to you and we will get you involved with that because it's going to be very exciting. I had a drive of all the cars, and I have to say, Tuppers and Thimbot have done a fantastic job of setting them up, and so it's going to be a really exciting time for us. Right, so we have run out of time now, so it's going to be goodbye from us here.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Wow, that's kind of scary. And we'll see you again next week for episode the Unlucky 13. Hopefully it won't be unlucky. That'll be a bit weird. Maybe I should jinx it. I'll just say goodbye. Goodbye.